Hey guys, welcome back to Gardening in the Bird with your girl Portia. I'm just gonna give you guys a quick update on certain things that's going on in the garden. What we're looking at now is I originally had some beans growing here. I thought they were done. I trimmed them back, but as you can see, I have more growing on here. So what I did was I also put potatoes, turmeric, and bunch onions in here. Like I said, I thought the beans was done, but I'm gonna leave them as long as they're producing. As you could tell, the turmeric is just coming up. It took, oh my God, I think it took like 3 weeks, you guys, maybe 4 weeks since I planted my turmeric, and it's just coming up. I was afraid they wasn't coming up. I had bought them from my local meat market store, and they said organic, so I was afraid they wasn't going to be coming up, but they are all popping up. So let's hope by the time they get to good size, I'll be able to pull, hopefully, y'all, because I got flowers on these beans, but I'll be able to pull my beans up. And then of course this batch of potatoes is coming in, so that and the turmeric can grow together. And this is a pretty nice size pot, so we'll see what that does for us. I made a mistake. I put turmeric in here as well with my potatoes, and I actually thought my potatoes needed more time, but apparently they don't, because they done flowered. They have flowered and they're drying out. So it may be time soon for me to harvest my potatoes, which could be a good and a bad thing, because the turmeric, as you could tell, I think I put way too many, and I even got a nasturtium in there. I put way too many turmerics in this grow bag, and once they get their true leaves, some of them do have true leaves, but I'll wait a little longer. So when I harvest this, I will be able to take the potatoes out, hopefully, and then repot the turmeric. Well, I'll repot some in here, but then I will have to replant some somewhere else, because this is a 5-gallon grow bag. But clearly that is way too much turmeric in that bag. Then what I did was I planted ginger in this pot. Ginger and turmeric, guys, takes forever to germinate. Like, it had to be about 4 weeks, you guys, and I got nothing. But now my ginger is coming up, and I got a baby one right there coming up. I thought the worm ate all my carrots that I originally had in here, but there's one right there. So what I'm thinking about doing, because this size is a pretty big size pot, and I only planted one ginger in here because I have another ginger pot in my front bed. So I may just add a couple of my turmerics in here with this one, and then put some in that bag just to spread them out. So that's my potatoes. So I can harvest those, and then I have those potatoes for later. And then this ginger and turmeric just getting started, but I do got ginger on the other side. I actually like ginger. I use ginger in everything. This bag right here had carrots, full of carrots, you guys. The leaves and everything, it was so full, and a worm came and ate it all up. And I got in my feelings, so I just left it. But I may be able to add some of my turmeric in this bag as well, and just have a bunch of turmeric growing out of these pots. Let's check out some other things. This is what you call a cherry tomato, and what's in here are onions. So this is what they consider what's the word I'm looking for? They grow back on their own. I originally had pineapple cherry tomatoes, and me and my daughter didn't like that. So this one just popped up all by itself in my front yard bed, all by itself, and I had like 3 or 4 of them. So I went ahead, and this is like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like 5 of them here, and then I planted one on the other end. Let me show you real quick. Planted one here, excuse the AC, and this one is already giving me pineapple cherries. They're already growing, but I planted one here, and I planted one right over here, and this one is also giving me pineapple cherry tomatoes. Now, like I said before, when I originally bought this plant from my local nursery, I just bought one plant, and they were pretty good, but it was just 1 or 2 at a time. These came all by themselves in my garden. Once the fruit falls, if you don't pick it up, it self-seeds. So they came in my garden all by themselves, and I just spreaded them out. For one, I wanted to see where would they grow best at in my garden, and 2, I wanted to see would they last. Being that they self-seeded and I pulled them from where they were growing at and spreaded them out, I just wanted to see would they last in the garden. And every last one of them are doing great. So maybe me and my daughter will get more pineapple cherries than we did before. Then I came over, and I don't know what these are. Carambas? I don't know what these are. But this is something I'm just trying. Never had them before, just trying them out. Here are my Italian peppers. They're sweet peppers, and I have a flower there, so I'm excited to know I will have a pepper. And this is my candy cane pepper. When I originally planted, I only got 2 candy canes, and I am happy to see that I have one there, and I have plenty of flowers and buds. So I'm glad to know that I will get more candy cane peppers. This right here I would call my butterfly bed, and what I have in here are some butterfly milkweed and some black-eyed Susans. So I was trying to find a way to attract bees and butterflies to my garden, and I did my research, and I talked to some vendors from my local nursery here, and they told me that butterfly milkweed is the best way to go for that, and that the black-eyed Susies draw bees and butterflies love them. So one, that's a good thing, because maybe the worms and the caterpillars will come over here and eat the butterfly weeds and leave my vegetables and fruits alone. And then 2, I have it in this corner right here, kind of away from the garden, so therefore it kind of keeps them away from my garden. So my black-eyed Susan is popping up, and I bought the black-eyed Susan from a local nursery. Now, when you buy flowers from a local nursery, I definitely wouldn't recommend getting annuals, because they already flowered, they already bloom. You probably got a couple of weeks and then they're dead, and you got to throw them away. But when you're buying flowers from your local nursery, try to get the ones that haven't bloomed yet. Now, even though everything in here is a perennial, which means it grows year-round here in my zone, I made sure I got the black-eyed Susans that didn't have a flower on them. It was just a nice, pretty bush when I purchased it. So now, as you could tell, I have flowers coming out of them. So anytime you buy something from your local nursery flower-wise, don't get it when it's already in bloom season. Not unless you're having an event or a special occasion and you need that look, then go for it. But other than that, I wouldn't recommend you buying them when they're already flowered and bloomed, because they're not going to last long for you. You're going to be pulling them out and throwing them away, especially annuals, because once the annuals flower, they die, and then that's just it. Their season's gone. So that's my little small butterfly bed. These are my red hots. I'm not finished with this tree yet, as you can tell. I had it cleaned up, you guys. I pulled the weeds, had it cleaned up, and I bought just a couple of red hots because I wanted to see what it will look like again. But they're flowering and they're cute. I'm gonna go ahead and put some red rubber mulch around here and around the butterfly bed just to give it an extra pop to it. I didn't do it to this bed yet because, as you can tell, I want to take the red hots all the way around this tree that I have in my yard. So once I finish taking it around, I'll try to keep it cleaned up and stuff for me. But then I'll drop some red rubber mulch there. And these supposed to like bush out as they grow. They're more of a bushy kind of flower. So I tried to space some of them out. But as I was digging, like this area right here, I think I digged 1 or 2 times. And it's a big tree root there. And I can't get there. So that's that space. So I will have to find a space where I can dig to drop them at, because I mean it is right up on a big tree. So those are my red hots, and again this is kind of close to my butterfly bed to draw the bees and the butterflies and stuff, to draw them a little closer to my garden. Here behind my house, next to my AC, I call myself putting a little design, which I need to come in here and clean this up a little with the rocks and stuff because of the water that leaks there. But right behind it, I wanted to find something to put here, like a flower. I kind of wanted my backyard to be more of flowers, but I wanted perennials because I didn't want to have to keep pulling up and throwing away and replanting. I didn't want to have to deal with that. So until I find something, well, I did find something, but before I found something, I had planted some mustard seeds and a throwaway seed tray just to see what I can do. And all 36 of them, y'all, came up. So I had to find somewhere to plant my mustard seeds. So I made a row here, and then I have a row in my actual garden, and they're all doing good, as you can tell. They came up so nice, and they are doing good. I'll come in here and pull some of the weeds, but they're doing good. I also purchased a English lavender. Now I planted some from seed in my garden, and it's taken them a long time to germinate. It really is. So I went ahead and bought 2 of them, and I planted them here, and I'll just see how that goes. That'll be my first time trying to grow lavender. And again, I bought it from my local nursery when it didn't have a flower on it, but now it looks like their flowers is growing on them. And I was told that English lavender in my zone is a perennial, so it's supposed to die back. It'll die back and then come back, but we'll find out. We'll see. Here is my dragon fruit. It's actually the yellow dragon fruit to be exact, which is supposed to be a little sweeter than the red one. She has pups growing all out of her. Now when I purchased her, she just had those 2 stems on her, just those 2. So I wasn't for sure if she will grow or not, or if I planted her upside down or not. But when I seen that she started kicking out babies, let me see, can I show you? She started kicking out babies, and they're just coming out all over the place. I didn't I then did my research to find out that even if you planted these upside down, the pups will find their way up and start growing. Good thing for me. So I fertilized her when I planted her, and I haven't fertilized her since, but she's taken off pretty good. It looks like she liked the area she's in. We'll keep her there. So now we are in the garden. This bed was originally beans. I think I had beans, flowers, and lettuce in this bed. And then as the beans died out, which you can still see a couple of them here that are died out after harvesting them, they died out. I start planting peas. So I have some beans, as you could tell, still coming in. They're trying to anyway. But I went ahead and planted peas. And I planted like 3 different pea pods here. I stuck in a purple cabbage here. I got a flower of nasturtiums there. There goes some more lettuce that I thought I chopped and dropped. Like, I harvested and chopped it all the way down, and it looks like it's coming back up. I put a tomato plant here because once I pulled, you can see some of the beans that dried out. Some of them I chopped and dropped, but as you could tell, I had space. So I dropped some onions here that's coming up, bulb onions. And I put some tomatoes here in this bed. I put some broccoli here that's doing good in this bed. I put another tomato plant, and she actually had a flower on her. So yay, I'm gonna have some tomatoes. She actually have a flower on her. She's doing good. Here are some beans that I thought died, and then when I came and checked, they had beans forming on them. So I'm like, okay, so y'all not done. Y'all not done, I'm not done. So I'm gonna leave them. But you see them? They're all over the place. But my peas are coming in too. You see them? So I am so excited to know we finna have some peas. And I got like 3 different pea plants. I think I got sweet peas, snap peas. I know it's 3 different peas I put in here. Again, just trying to figure out what grows best in my area or in my garden, should you say. So I put like 3 different kinds in this bed, and they're all doing good. Now it still look like I have a lot of space, like I can put more stuff, but that tomato plant is going to get pretty big. That tomato plant is going to get pretty big. The broccoli is going to get pretty big. That lettuce is almost like a big old flower. When it grows, it gets pretty big. So I don't want to keep putting stuff in here and then it be too crowded, and then nothing will grow right because it's overcrowded. So I have these strings. These strings was originally for the beans because they latch on and they climb the trellis. And like I said, I thought my beans was done, so I clipped them all back, harvest what I had, and started putting other things in this bed. And now I see I have beans coming. I got beans coming back. So it works for me. So this one was labeled as a red bell pepper. This is the only bell pepper I have left, but I have quite a few buds coming on her. She even have a little fruit on her. So like I said, the other 2, they died. I got maybe 1 or 2 bell peppers off them and they died. I don't know what caused it, but she's still holding on for me, and I hope she can hold on through our winter months here as well. My broccoli is doing good. Some of them have little heads on them. I don't want to step in my bed, but you can see some of them have heads already forming on them. I am so excited about that. My carrots are doing good. My onion is doing good. Last week I did a video on how I transplanted my mustards here, and they're doing good. Remember, these the mustards that I started from seed just to see where they germinate, and they all did. So again, I have some in the back and then I have some in the front right here. This right here is my, trying to read the sign for you, hot banana. She has a flower on her. She has quite a few flowers. Can y'all see that? There you go. She got quite a few flowers on her. These are radishes I just put in here just to see what they will do, and they are doing, so the radishes are doing good. I call myself doing a little decoration in my garden. Nothing much. My mums are coming along very well. They blossom and die back, and then they come right back. So they're doing good. My lemongrass. I have trimmed my lemongrass 2 or 3 times, and she just keep on coming back for me. Lemongrass tea is very good, by the way. You guys got to try it. It is very, very refreshing. So that was just a quick walk around to give you guys a update on certain things that is growing in my garden that is doing pretty good, and things that I have harvested and things that I have planted. Before I go real quick, give y'all just a moment, I want to show y'all some more transplants that I started from seed, and they're coming up, and some of them got their true leaves on them, and I want to show you guys what they look like. Maybe later on today or tomorrow when I get off work, I might go ahead and plant them in the bed. But while I walk over here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, like my video, or even share it on your platform. I would deeply appreciate it. That's another potato plant, and she's doing good. But here is my starter trays. So here I had the peas, and I took them out. I showed you guys already, they're doing good. Spinach is not doing good, or it might take forever, like turmeric and ginger and lavender, that takes forever to germinate. But my lettuce, what are these? My turnips and my beets are doing good. My turnips got true leaves on them, but I want them to get a little bit bigger before I pull them. And as you can tell, I planted a bunch of seeds just to see what germinates and what don't. But when I replant them into my raised bed, of course I'm gonna thin them out as I go along. And then on this side right here, I planted peppers, lettuce, sweet basil, another type of basil, and onions. And only my basils seem to be coming up. So I don't know if it's just taking them a while to germinate, or they didn't germinate, which that happens. Sometimes you plant stuff and it just don't germinate, and it happens. So I'll wait for a little while for them to come up some more, and then I will go ahead and replant them in my raised beds. This is a flower. I ordered this seed online. I feel like I'm on repeat, you guys. It took these seeds forever to germinate, and to be honest with you, it's at a standstill now. It's been looking just like this for at least 3 weeks. No growth, no nothing. Look, I planted it 920 is when I planted it, and this is all I got from 920. Like, it is, yeah, it's ridiculous how long it's taking this to grow. It's supposed to be a perennial around here, and it's a flower that has purple buds on it that I am going to plant up underneath my grapevines, because they're great companions for them. But I planted some seeds in the ground and they didn't germinate. Then I planted them in pots and they didn't germinate. So I took them out of the plastic pot and put them in this clay pot, and they germinated, but then it's at a standstill. So I still don't know if I need to put them in a house for the cold season. Will they survive the cold season here? Is it because it's the cold season that they're stunted, and then when spring comes they'll bounce out? I don't know. I just keep watering them, trying to keep what I do have here alive, because I don't have any more of these seeds to replant. So that is that. And yeah, that's just a upgrade of my garden and where I'm at with it right now. Some starter plants. When I get done with this right here, I will plant more soil, and I will start I won't, because my spring won't start till like March. So I will probably won't start planting my spring seeds until February in here, and then plant them out in March into my garden. Right now we're in the fall winter months here. So I'm trying to focus on just my brassicas, my flowers, like my knockoff roses growing, some tomatoes. Now I just learned something myself. Tomatoes supposed to be a summer crop. Well, during the summer times here, it gets brutal. None of my tomatoes grew during the summer times here. Not one gave me one fruit. Matter of fact, the leaves all died, and they didn't produce anything. Here it is, fall time. I decided to plant tomatoes, and look, my tomatoes are doing good. So I don't know if it'll get too cold to where they won't grow anymore and it'll stunt the growth, or this is just the time of season where I need to grow my tomatoes. So next season coming up, I will grow a lot more tomatoes around this time. Right now I only got like 4. I got 2 determined and 2 undetermined tomatoes, just trying to see what grows best in my area. But one thing I do know is they grow better during the fall times in my zone versus the summertime. So I'll plant my seeds during the summertime, and then plant my transplants in the fall time, and I get my tomatoes, because they're definitely not growing here in the summertime. And in my yard, in my garden, I do not have a lot of shaded areas. Everywhere in my house is like direct sun. I really don't have shaded areas to even try to grow them in the summertime, hoping that I can cover them with another crop or some kind. So hit like, hit share, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.